Your silence is not a sign of weakness. It's a reflection of your strength. You see, in a world that constantly demands your words, your thoughts, your opinions, there's something powerful in choosing when and how to speak. It's about knowing that you don't need to yell to be heard. You don't need to respond to every provocation. Silence, at times, is the greatest weapon you possess. You ever been in a room full of noise, people talking over each other, trying to be the loudest, the most heard, but the most impactful person in the room? The one who stands tall with nothing but quiet confidence? That's power. People will try to pull you into their chaos, their drama, and their noise. But if you stay calm, if you choose to observe and understand, that's where your strength lies. Your silence gives you time to think. It allows you to reflect on what really matters. When everyone else is busy reacting, you can sit back, watch, listen, and then strike when the time is right. You're not just reacting, you're calculating, you're strategizing, and that makes all the difference. And don't think for a second that being quiet means you're passive or weak. No, it means you're disciplined. You're in control. You're not being swayed by every passing breeze. You're grounded in who you are, clear about your vision, and unwavering in your pursuit of your goals. So when life gets loud and the noise gets overwhelming, remember, silence is your power. It's your shield, your space to grow, your way of staying in command. The more you understand this, the more you'll see just how strong your silence really is. Silence as strength. Silence isn't a sign of weakness, but a reflection of inner strength and confidence. It's a way of asserting control in a world full of noise. The power of observation. Choosing silence gives you the chance to observe and understand situations more deeply, allowing you to make more calculated decisions. Response over reaction. Instead of reacting impulsively to chaos or provocation, silence allows you to think and respond strategically, making you more effective in the long run. Discipline and control. Silence demonstrates discipline and self-control. It's about knowing when to speak and when to remain calm, which ultimately gives you more power. Grounded confidence. Those who choose silence show confidence in themselves. They don't feel the need to engage in every argument or noise because they are grounded in their own beliefs and goals. Strategic power. Silence is a strategic tool. It enables you to stay focused, reflect, and act when the time is right, rather than being swept up in distractions. Silence is often misunderstood. In a society that celebrates extroversion, constant communication, and fast-paced action, silence can be perceived as a lack of engagement or weakness. But in truth, silence is a profound form of strength. It's not about withdrawing from the world or avoiding conflict, but rather about choosing how and when to engage. Those who understand the true power of silence know that it's not merely the absence of sound, but the presence of control, clarity, and intention. When you remain silent, you're not giving in to the noise around you. Instead, you're reserving your energy, thoughts, and emotions for moments that truly matter. In a conversation, for example, when someone expects a quick response, your silence can communicate confidence. It shows that you're thinking deeply before offering your perspective. You're not merely responding because you feel compelled to speak. You're taking the time to reflect, to assess the situation, and to determine whether your words will add value. In many ways, silence allows you to protect your peace. You don't have to engage in every argument or give in to every emotional reaction. The ability to remain quiet in the face of chaos or criticism is a testament to your self-discipline. It's easy to get caught up in the whirlwind of social expectations, personal attacks, or the pressures of the moment. But those who understand the strength of silence know that reacting impulsively often leads to regret. Instead, they reserve their energy for the moments that truly deserve it. Consider the most influential leaders in history. Many of them understood the power of silence. Whether in meetings, negotiations, or even in public speeches, they knew that waiting for the right moment to speak made their words more impactful. In fact, sometimes saying nothing at all conveys more authority than any well-crafted speech could. A leader who speaks only when necessary is seen as wise and composed, while one who talks constantly risks diluting their influence. Silence also offers a unique opportunity for self-reflection. When you aren't constantly talking or being bombarded by external stimuli, you create space for your own thoughts to surface. In silence, you can reconnect with your own desires, needs, and ambitions. It allows you to assess where you are in life, what you truly want, and how best to proceed. In the rush of everyday life, it's easy to lose sight of your true purpose. But silence creates an environment where your inner voice can be heard clearly, without interference from the outside world. Moreover, silence can be a form of emotional strength. Think of the times when you've been hurt, criticized, or misunderstood. The immediate instinct might be to retaliate, to defend yourself or explain your actions. But silence allows you to rise above that instinct. It shows that you're not defined by other people's judgments or opinions. You're secure in who you are, and you don't need to validate yourself through words. In fact, by staying silent in these situations, you demonstrate an inner peace that others can't easily shake. Your silence in the face of adversity communicates resilience. It tells the world that you won't be easily swayed. When you begin to harness the strength of silence, you open yourself up to deeper levels of understanding. You start to see that speaking is a choice, not a requirement. Words are powerful, yes, but so is silence. It can be a tool for personal growth, a weapon against chaos, and a sign of true strength. By embracing silence, you shift from a place of reactive behavior to one of proactive control, where your thoughts and actions align with your deeper values and vision. When you embrace silence, you open the door to observation. In a world where people are constantly talking, acting, and reacting, it's easy to become distracted by the noise. But those who know the power of silence understand that true strength lies in the ability to observe without being swept away by every passing moment. Silence grants you the space to watch, listen, and absorb information without the pressure to immediately respond or intervene. In this quiet, you gain a deeper understanding of what's truly happening around you. In conversations, for example, when everyone is eager to talk, choosing to remain silent allows you to listen more intently. Listening is a skill that goes beyond hearing words. It's about understanding the underlying emotions, motivations, and intentions behind those words. When you are silent, you can pick up on the subtleties that may be overlooked in a more rushed or reactionary exchange. This deeper level of listening allows you to learn more about the people and situations you encounter, providing insights that can inform your decisions, actions, and responses. Silence, then, becomes a tool for gaining wisdom. By taking a step back and not immediately jumping in, you create space for reflection. You give yourself the time to process information before forming an opinion or taking action. This approach is particularly valuable in high-pressure situations or moments of conflict. In these instances, it's easy to act on emotion or impulse. But by choosing silence, you can avoid reacting hastily and instead make a more thoughtful decision. but that the ability to pause and take in the full scope of a situation allows you to respond more effectively and with greater precision. Moreover, observing without speaking often gives you an advantage. In a group or team setting, when others are focused on making their voices heard, staying silent can help you gain a more comprehensive view of the dynamics at play. You can observe the power shifts, the undercurrents of tension, or the ideas that are being introduced without bias. Sometimes, when everyone is talking, it's hard to hear the important details that could shape the outcome. But in silence, you give yourself the opportunity to hear what is truly being communicated. The power of observation through silence also extends to understanding yourself. In moments of quiet, free from distractions and external opinions, you can turn inward and reflect on your own thoughts and feelings. This self-awareness is key to personal growth. It allows you to evaluate your reactions, your desires, and your behaviors without the influence of outside voices. Silence allows you to be honest with yourself, free from the need to justify or explain yourself to others. It's in this space of self-reflection that you can make the most meaningful progress. By observing in silence, you also enhance your ability to read people and situations. You begin to recognize the patterns, the body language, the unspoken cues that others may miss. In fact, some of the most powerful insights come not from words, but from the things left unsaid. The pauses, the glances, the moments of hesitation. These subtle indicators can reveal far more about a person or a situation than any overt statement could. By remaining silent, you give yourself the chance to notice these details and interpret them with clarity. Ultimately, silence transforms you into a more effective decision maker. With the ability to observe, listen, and reflect without being swept away by the noise, you gain a clearer picture of what's really going on. You are no longer operating based on surface-level reactions, but are guided by a deeper understanding of the dynamics at play. This clarity is what allows you to make wiser, more informed choices in all aspects of your life. When you choose silence, you choose to respond instead of react. Reacting is often a knee-jerk response to something external, whether it's a comment, an action, or an event. It's an emotional, instinctive response that's not always well thought out. It's driven by the immediate need to defend, attack, or express feelings, often without taking the time to fully understand the situation. In contrast, responding comes from a place of thoughtfulness and control. It's not governed by emotion, but by clarity and intention. The difference between reacting and responding is critical. Reacting can lead to rash decisions, words you might regret, or actions that you don't truly mean. It's easy to fall into the trap of reacting when things are chaotic or you feel attacked. In these moments, the pressure to respond quickly, to defend yourself, or to assert your position can cloud your judgment. But in the silence between moments of conflict or confrontation, you allow yourself the opportunity to reflect. You take the time to evaluate the situation, assess your emotions, and understand the context. By choosing not to react immediately, you give yourself the chance to come back with a response that is measured, strategic, and more aligned with your long-term goals. In any situation where emotions are running high, whether in a personal argument, a work disagreement, or even in the heat of competition, silence gives you the space to pause and think. It's easy to say the first thing that comes to your mind in the heat of the moment, but those words may not reflect your true feelings or what you ultimately want to communicate. Silence, on the other hand, allows you to hold back, to digest the information, and to craft a response that is thoughtful and effective. This is not to say that silence means ignoring or avoiding a situation. Instead, it means taking the time to assess and respond appropriately rather than reacting out of frustration, anger, or fear. When you take a moment of silence, you give yourself the opportunity to think about the impact of your words and actions. You recognize that every decision you make can shape the course of the conversation, the relationship, or the outcome. With silence comes awareness, and with awareness comes the power to choose your words wisely. The value of responding over reacting is especially evident in leadership. A strong leader does not simply react to every challenge, problem, or opinion that arises. Instead, they take the time to process information, assess the impact of their decisions, and respond in a way that is calm, clear, and purposeful. A leader who reacts impulsively may make decisions that are short-sighted or damaging, while one who takes the time to pause, observe, and respond effectively will guide their team towards success with much greater skill and insight. Silence creates the space to build that kind of leadership. It's a tool for emotional regulation, helping you maintain composure even in the most stressful or volatile moments. In those moments of silence, you become more in tune with yourself and the situation, allowing you to respond in a way that not only serves your immediate needs, but also furthers your long-term goals. It transforms impulsive behavior into thoughtful, intentional action. Silence is a demonstration of discipline and control. In a world where instant gratification and constant communication are the norms, silence stands as a symbol of restraint and focus. It's easy to give in to the impulse to speak, to react, or to engage in every conversation or conflict that arises. But silence requires an individual to exercise a level of self-restraint that most people overlook. It's not about avoiding participation. It's about choosing when and how to contribute, and understanding the power of not speaking at all. Discipline in silence comes from the understanding that not every moment requires a response. In the midst of heated discussions, debates, or social pressure, the temptation to speak up or defend yourself is strong. However, discipline allows you to recognize that sometimes saying nothing is the wisest option. By choosing silence in these moments, you maintain control over your emotions, thoughts, and reactions. You're not allowing external forces to dictate your response. Instead, you're controlling when to engage and when it's more beneficial to hold back. This kind of self-control is a form of mental strength. It's the ability to pause before reacting, to take a step back and assess the situation from a place of calm, rather than rush into a response driven by emotion or impulse. Silence becomes a shield that protects you from making rash decisions or saying things you might regret. It helps you guard your inner peace, preventing the outside world from intruding on your mental state. The discipline of silence also plays a crucial role in personal growth and self-mastery. In a society that constantly demands more opinions, more expressions, more reactions, silence teaches you to be selective with your words and actions. It challenges you to cultivate patience and to avoid reacting simply because you're expected to. In silence, you have the opportunity to evaluate your values, understand your intentions, and align your actions with your true purpose. It's also important to recognize that silence doesn't mean passive behavior. It's an active choice that reflects a deep understanding of yourself and the situation at hand. It's a deliberate act of restraint, not a passive retreat. By practicing this self-discipline, you become more attuned to your own inner voice. You learn to trust your instincts and not feel compelled to speak or act without purpose. The more you practice silence, the more you gain control over your impulses and reactions. You become less driven by the need to prove yourself or impress others, and more focused on maintaining integrity and staying true to your own principles. In conversations, silence is often more powerful than words. When you speak less and listen more, you demonstrate your discipline and respect for others. You show that you are not interested in dominating the conversation, but in understanding and learning. Silence in communication can communicate confidence and humility, two qualities that are deeply rooted in self-control. People who can hold their silence and not jump to fill the space with unnecessary words are often seen as more thoughtful and authoritative. Silence also creates room for reflection. The act of pausing, stepping back, and not immediately responding gives you the time and mental space to consider the situation, the impact of your words, and the desired outcome. This deliberate pause is a form of self-regulation, where you make conscious choices based on your values, not just immediate reactions. By exercising discipline through silence, you build resilience against external pressures and strengthen your ability to navigate the complexities of life with clarity and purpose. Silence reflects a deep sense of grounded confidence. It's a sign that you don't feel the need to constantly assert yourself or validate your worth. In a world where many people are driven by the need to be seen, heard, or acknowledged, choosing silence is an act of self-assurance. When you are truly confident in who you are, you don't need to prove anything to anyone. You understand that your presence alone speaks volumes, and your silence reinforces the belief that your value doesn't depend on constant validation or external recognition. In many situations, those who are most confident are not the ones who dominate every conversation or continuously seek attention. Instead, they are the ones who can remain calm and poised, choosing to speak when they have something of substance to offer. Confidence in silence doesn't mean withdrawing or isolating yourself, but rather it's the ability to remain centered and undistracted by the need to impress others. Confident people don't feel compelled to fill every moment with their voice. They understand that their worth is not dependent on how much they talk or how loudly they speak, but on their ability to remain authentic and present. True confidence also involves knowing your own values and sticking to them, regardless of external pressures. In situations where others might be swept up in the need to conform or fit in, the confident person remains silent, not because they have nothing to say, but because they are secure in their identity. They don't feel the need to follow the crowd or to engage in conversations that don't align with their beliefs. Their silence, therefore, becomes an expression of their integrity and authenticity. Being grounded in silence also means not being swayed by other people's judgments or expectations. When you understand who you are, when you are comfortable with your own thoughts and feelings, outside influences lose their power over you. Whether it's criticism, praise, or negativity, the confident individual remains steady in their own beliefs. They don't need to react to every comment or prove their worth through words. They are at peace with themselves, knowing that their silence is just as powerful as their words. This kind of grounded confidence allows you to be more present in any situation. When you're not preoccupied with what you need to say next or how you're being perceived, you can truly engage with the moment. Whether you're in a meeting, a social gathering, or even a moment of personal reflection, confidence in silence enables you to focus more deeply on what is happening around you and within you. It's not about retreating into yourself, but rather about being fully in control of your presence and your response to the world around you. Moreover, silence in confident individuals often invites respect from others. People recognize that when someone is quiet, it's not out of insecurity or fear, but because they are carefully considering the situation or waiting for the right moment to contribute. In this way, silence doesn't make you invisible, it enhances your presence. People are drawn to those who are secure in their own stillness, and they often find that these individuals have a quiet strength that commands attention without the need to speak constantly. In the end, silence becomes a powerful tool for those who are grounded in confidence. It's not about shrinking away or avoiding the world, but rather about choosing when to engage and when to stay still. Through silence, you convey that you don't need external validation to feel worthy, that your value is intrinsic, and that you have the strength to be present without the need for constant affirmation. The quieter you become, the more your inner confidence radiates, and that is what truly draws others to you. Silence is a strategic tool that, when used wisely, can significantly enhance your ability to make decisions and achieve your goals. In a world that values constant activity and immediate responses, choosing silence can often give you an advantage. While others may be rushing to act or speak, those who understand the strategic value of silence recognize that sometimes the best approach is to pause, observe, and wait for the right moment to act. In this pause, you can evaluate the situation, reflect on your options, and align your response with your long-term objectives. One of the key aspects of strategic silence is its ability to provide clarity. In moments of uncertainty or chaos, it's easy to become overwhelmed by the noise and pressure around you. Silence creates a space where you can step back from the immediate turmoil and gain perspective. This allows you to see things more clearly, without the distortion of emotions or distractions. When you're silent, you remove the noise that often clouds your judgment, enabling you to make more thoughtful and calculated decisions. Moreover, silence allows you to assess the dynamics of a situation before making a move. In negotiations, for example, staying silent when others are speaking can give you an edge. While others may be revealing their positions, feelings, or intentions through their words, your silence allows you to listen carefully and gather valuable information. This information can then be used to inform your own decisions, giving you a better understanding of the situation before you make your move. In many cases, the person who speaks the least often gains the most insight, as they are observing, listening, and taking in everything around them. The strategic use of silence also gives you time to think before responding. In situations where emotions are high or stakes are significant, it can be tempting to respond immediately, perhaps driven by emotion or the pressure of the moment. However, those who recognize the value of silence understand that a delayed response can be far more effective. By taking a moment to think, you can weigh your options, consider the long-term impact of your response, and ensure that your words and actions are aligned with your goals. This thoughtful approach prevents you from making rash decisions that may not serve you well in the future. Silence can also be a powerful tool for controlling the pace of a situation. When you remain quiet in a conversation or debate, you dictate the flow of the interaction. You don't allow yourself to be rushed or pressured into making a decision before you're ready. This control over timing can be especially valuable in high-stakes situations where making the right move is crucial. By choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, you maintain control over how the situation unfolds. ensuring that you are never caught off guard or forced into a reaction you haven't fully considered. Additionally, silence can act as a psychological strategy. It can make others feel the need to fill the space with more words, often revealing more than they intended. By maintaining silence, you encourage others to speak more, giving you the opportunity to learn more about their thoughts, motivations, and plans. This strategic use of silence can give you the upper hand, as you are able to gather more information and make more informed decisions based on what others have revealed. In sum, silence is not passive or ineffective. It is an active and powerful strategy. By choosing silence, you create the space for clarity, reflection, and assessment. You give yourself the time to make decisions that are deliberate, informed, and aligned with your ultimate goals. Silence provides you with the control and insight needed to navigate complex situations, making it an invaluable tool in achieving success. As we conclude this reflection on silence, it becomes clear that its true power lies not in the absence of sound, but in the presence of control, thoughtfulness, and intention. Silence is not just about holding your tongue or retreating from the world. It's a deliberate and conscious choice to pause, observe, and respond with purpose. The more you embrace silence, the more you realize how much strength it holds, how much clarity it can bring, and how deeply it can empower your journey. Through silence, we learn the importance of choosing our moments. In a world that moves quickly, where everyone is racing to speak, react, and take action, those who understand the art of silence know that it is not about passivity, it's about precision. Silence offers us the space to be still, to think deeply, and to carefully consider our words and actions. It allows us to listen attentively, to learn more about ourselves and others, and to engage with life in a way that is not hurried or impulsive. The power of silence is seen in the way it fosters emotional control. Instead of reacting hastily in moments of anger, frustration, or confusion, silence gives us the ability to pause, breathe, and regain our composure. It teaches us to respond thoughtfully rather than reacting instinctively, allowing us to navigate challenges with a clearer mindset. When you choose silence in these intense moments, you maintain your peace and make decisions that are not driven by emotion, but by a sense of calm and clarity. Silence also acts as a powerful form of self-discipline. In a world that constantly demands our attention, silence is a conscious act of restraint. It's the ability to resist the temptation to speak simply for the sake of speaking, to step back and evaluate whether our words will add value to the situation. The more we practice silence, the more we strengthen our discipline and control over our impulses. We learn to value quality over quantity in our communication, to speak only when our words will have a meaningful impact. Moreover, silence empowers us to observe and understand. When we are silent, we open ourselves to truly hearing and seeing the world around us. We can observe the dynamics in a room, understand the deeper layers of a conversation, and gain insights that others might miss in the rush to speak. This ability to observe quietly allows us to gather information, make informed decisions, and act with wisdom and intention. It enhances our ability to navigate complex situations and relationships with greater awareness and understanding. But perhaps most importantly, silence fosters grounded confidence. When you are secure in who you are, you don't feel the need to prove anything to anyone. Silence becomes a reflection of your inner strength and conviction. It shows that you are confident enough to be still, to remain poised, and to wait for the right moment to speak or act. In a society that often equates noise with power, silence challenges that assumption. It reminds us that true power comes not from the loudest voice, but from the most grounded presence. Silence reflects a confidence that is not swayed by external pressures, but instead remains anchored in one's own beliefs and values. As we reflect on the strategic nature of silence, we also see how it becomes an essential tool in achieving our goals. By choosing when to speak and when to remain silent, we control the pace of situations, maintain clarity, and make decisions with intention. Silence becomes an ally in every aspect of life, helping us gain the insight, focus, and composure needed to move forward with confidence and precision. Silence is not the absence of power, it is the presence of it. It is the quiet strength that allows us to stand tall in the face of adversity, to navigate challenges with wisdom, and to lead with integrity. By embracing silence, we are not retreating from life. We are stepping into a deeper, more meaningful engagement with ourselves and the world around us. Silence is not a void. It is a space where power is cultivated, where clarity emerges, and where strength is born. It is through silence that we become truly powerful, not because we have nothing to say, but because we know when to say it.